Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour podcast.
Yes, hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for joining us. Welcome to episode 221. Brian, how you doing, my man?
Chambers, I got some beer in me right now. I did some PT. I'm slowly discovering all the million things wrong with me, so I'm drinking the pain away, Chambers, and I'm clearing my fridge because you know what time of year it is, Jim?
We're getting there. We're creeping up.
It's that beautiful transition from it's way too balls hot to beautiful fall and football, and the start of my favorite season with beers. I actually, at this point, think I've drank more Oktoberfest beers than I have any other style. Like, because I keep doing the reviews every year, and last year when I went out and paid like over $115 for a bunch of single bottles to do reviews on, I think I've covered like every beer I could possibly find. But I got to clear out space, and this one actually is from, I think, St. Paddy's Day. It's the Empire Brewing Company's Black Magic Irish Coffee Stout Whiskey Barrel Blended. It's only 7%, which is shocking for something in a whiskey barrel.
That is kind of low.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be easily 10 or 11, but no write-ups, just really cool designs. Got your little leprechauns and then 4-leaf clovers.
Racist.
I don't know I guess that's a tarot. Is the upside down hand with the eye in it, is that tarot?
I guess whatever dumb.
I don't know what that is actually. But yeah, delicious beer. What I like about it is it's one of these super smooth. It doesn't have that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like acrid kind of like burn to it that some of these get. And with the whiskey, it's gives you that whiskey like kind of warmness as it goes down, but it's definitely not boozy at all. So super smooth, really good. It's my first time having stuff from Empire except for this beer. So yeah, they're from New York, so check them out.
Interesting.
But what you got?
Well, Brian, I still don't have a kitchen, so my options are limited. I actually saw I have these butterscotch beers in there, which I forget if I had on the show yet or not when I did my solo episode. I don't think so, but
I feel like I remember you mentioning butterscotch.
Maybe I had it with you.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm saving it.
I never tried it, but
okay.
Because I think that sounds like something I would. Is it before you tell me? Is it a brown ale?
I think so.
Okay, because I like I said, that sounds like something I really want to try.
Yeah, maybe I'll save it for you too, but long story short, I don't have a kitchen, and I don't know where any of my glassware is. It's still all packed away. So even if I had a nice beer to show off or to try, I couldn't put it in a proper glass, couldn't get the true effervescence, as they like to say, couldn't really do it justice, or even show it off, or take pictures for Thirsty Thursday, or do any of the usual goddamn spiel, so I just have my good old Coors Lights. Silver Bullets, Brian.
Hey, that's what I got for the party when I had it at my place, and you know what? I hadn't had one in a while. I'll use a gemism. They're delightful. They're refreshing.
Right? Exactly. They're always there when you need them. God damn it. For the love of God, do not let the power go out. Tornado watch right now, people, as we record.
I was going to say, yeah, right now we're deep in a tornado and severe thunderstorm watch. So
we're being a little ballsy with this recording session.
Yeah, there's a high probability one of us or both of us loses power. But.
Yep. Also, speaking of this recording session, we were going to try and meet up once again, but I had band practice on Friday, and come Sunday, my bass player is like, oop, pot positive. I'm like, motherfucker, I can't go anywhere these days. So,
Jim, what have I said? I know you're going to keep trying to give me COVID, and I know you want to be a super spreader, but God damn it, no.
Look, Brian, it's like everything else. I'm taking everyone down with me.
You son of a bitch. I can't believe the number of people now that are like, I thought this was not a thing really, and now I keep hearing more and more.
Yeah, I guess.
But like I said, I guess, are you still supposed to do this shit? I know I asked you this last time. Are you supposed to not go out and all that?
I don't know, because we have a gig on Thursday, so we're still that's going to be up in the air with everything too.
You heard it here, folks. Jim's super spreader event, his gig.
Like at this point, you're gonna, with the way everyone's getting it at this point, you're gonna get it going shopping for food shopping. So I don't think there's any escaping it right now.
Chambers. Well, I hope you don't get it.
I hope so as well.
And I know you're still in transition with.
I don't have a game room to enjoy it if I get it this time.
Well, that's
I don't
what
have
I
a
was gonna
couch
say.
to lay on.
I know you're still in transition. I doubly hope you don't get it for that reason, because you don't have any other than your Switch. I'm sure you don't have anything, but
No.
I know house shit's been keeping you busy, but have you been able to squeak in any game time at all?
The most gaming I did was about 5 minutes the other day because I was at a thrift store, and I think I showed off before like that plug and play Mega Man thing I have. I found one for Space Invaders, and I was like, $3, cool. I know what to expect with this thing. And you know what? Maybe it's simple enough that my daughter would like it and get into it. I don't think she's a gamer, Bri. So we were sitting there playing, and it was a typical thing where we played it for about like 4 minutes, and then like she was like, she still doesn't quite have the concept of moving and shooting at the same time. So that's still a struggle. And then she was just like, this is boring, and just chucked it. And I was just like, God, fuck. I didn't just pay $3 for the damn thing. I noticed it freezes. I don't know if it froze beforehand and that's why they donated it, or if it's because of that. But yeah.
Jim, you got the perfect combo there. Non-gamer and a female who doesn't appreciate shit.
I mean, what am I going to say? It's real life. This is what happens.
Yeah. I'm actually right now at a point where I'm sitting at the opposite end of that spectrum. My son is balls in on gaming, especially now that one of his cousins has Minecraft. So every 10 minutes I get, hey, can you check if he's on? Can you check if he's on? And when they're on, the conversation is just hilarious. Like, stop stealing my iron. Like, let's build a house. Now let's build a secret house underneath. Now let's build a parkour thing. And then the bickering between the two. And he's got the headphones on and the whole thing. It's cute and it's funny, but it's also like, oh God, like I'm creating a monster with this.
And he's
like,
not a quiet boy when he isn't worked up. So
no.
I can just imagine how he's going in there.
Yeah. So
right, is this going to be like the version of how, like, when we were kids, like, we grew up with dial-up internet. So you had to either have the phone or have the computer, get off the goddamn computer. You're going to have that now with being like, get off my TV, I want a game.
Dude, literally, yesterday I got done work. I was like, you know what, I'm going to fire up some Blasphemous, because I'm pretty far along. So I got through the gate after you got the 3 keys, and I'm way past, like, a few, there's like 3 sections past that. I don't know what the next big boss is. Like, I beat this one crazy, creepy boss where it's like a blind baby and a scorpion thing.
Oh, yeah.
That thing was annoying, because that baby, I didn't know insta-killed you if it grabbed you, which I found out.
Sure did.
But no, like, I also have been making it a point. I've been backtracking and trying to collect, like, the relics and stuff. Like, every time I get a new power or something, I'm like, ooh, now I can jump in mud. Now I can do that. Like, so the game has fully sucked me in. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. But like I said, I think when it showed my percentage, I'm like 70 or 75% done. So I have to imagine I'm close to the end.
Damn.
Because I've gotten, like, almost all the bones. I've gotten all but like 2 or 3 powers for the sword. So I don't know what bosses are actually left. Like, I keep getting these little cutscenes of like this big face and a mask that keeps opening up.
Oh, I think that's like the final boss, basically. Like, oh,
Okay.
That's a lot of thunder and lightning. Good. This will go great. But yeah, I mean, it's been like 2 years. I really don't remember. But I mean, I think when I beat it, I was like in the low to mid 80s for percentage for when I finally just finished it off. So you're probably close.
Did you?
Or if you're just being an autist and you're just going to be at like 94% by the time you get to the end.
It's possible. I'm being very anal. I'm not. I know. I already settled. And I'm not getting everything. But if I know of something, like, I mark it on the map, and when I get powers, if I think like, oh, now I need to go through that green mist and not get hurt or this or that, like, I go back and try to unlock as much as I can. I assume you did not do that.
I went back and did it a lot, and then eventually I was like at the like 17 or 18 hour mark, and I was like, all right, let's just wrap this shit up.
You're just done. Yeah. No, but it's, you know it. Excellent game. Definitely has me excited for Blasphemous 2. And I think this one has really... It's one of the better Metroidvanias where it's like, yes, there's backtracking, but it feels more rewarding to backtrack than some of the other ones.
Yeah, and especially since, like, even when you're, like, further along and, like, you're still powered up, the combat's still tough. Yeah. And it's not like they power creeped you either. Like, the enemies aren't any tougher. It's just they were tough to begin with. Now they're just slightly easier.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, and yeah, they'll just... I'm amazed. Like, yes, there is a lot of reuse of energies, like the guys that pop out of the ground, or like, like the ones that are like our pictures on the walls that reach out and grab you. They'll just change palettes or styles. But then they introduce like random, absolutely ones that I've never seen, and it's like, okay, like you really do have to learn it.
Those cocksuckers with the bells that reanimated enemies. Oh god, they were the worst.
They were annoying, and you know, it's like when you get into a rhythm of getting hit by, you know, the priests that are floating and can stab down.
Oh, do I ever?
Once they start stabbing you, and then when there's like enemies on the ground and they kind of get you in like almost a locked combo where you're like, fuck, just get away. Mm-hmm. That gets so annoying so fast.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, that's been my main. I have done some DVD. It's funny. Actually, I'll save that story for another time. I want to see where it goes. I'll just say that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say, you know me. I got into a spat with a TTV, a Twitch streamer, who like was basically purposefully tunneling me out of a game, but letting everyone else live, and then decided to, on top of that, she was gonna talk shit to me. And you know that trick, like, if you're going to be a piece of shit but then talk shit on top of that, I'm not gonna let that go.
Ooh.
And so yeah, it's been interesting. So yeah, I'll save it. I want to see where it goes till next week, because then we had a follow-up game by accident. But then I decided to go into her stream. She had a lot of people there, but yeah, I think I got in her head. I think I'm pissing her off. So yeah.
Right, keep that up. We have a lot of stories to get to this week, so we need a status report next week.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been playing that.
Right,
and then
right. Channel you're in her 1950s, put the woman in her place, and then we'll take it from there.
I called her sweetie, and I don't think her audience liked that.
Oh God! Oh no! I mean, oh yes, but because I'm here for the shit show. This is gonna be great.
So yeah, but
yeah,
other
I'm sure
than
that went over well, Brian. Call her Sweet Cheeks next time.
After that, well, super quick story, Jim. When she decided to target me again, and she's someone who actually has like 3,000 followers on Twitch, like, so not as small.
Yeah,
decided to target and tunnel me because she saw my name and remembered me. And after she beat me, I noticed, I was like, it's her name again. I go on her stream, and I'm like, I was gonna let it go, but like, she's still talking shit about me. So I was like, I decided I'm going to hop in here, and she kept saying, like, all right, guys, I need to take a break. I need to go, like, let my dog out, da-da-da-da. And then I came in. I said, why do you love me so much? And she's like, what are you talking about? And then she realized who I was. And then she was doing a squeaky voice for, like, some charity marathon thing. Like, you know those annoying things that, like, a lot of vloggers do where it's like they have an auto-tune thing? She literally turned it off to use her real voice to try to come back with me. And it went on for like 10 or 15 minutes. And I said, I'm obviously more important than your dog, because you said you had to go and let your dog out, and now you're staying here with me. She's like, you're not more important than my dog. I was like, I'm getting to her. And it's funny because I swear to God, I was like, let me check in an hour later. Still every so often they're bringing me up. I'm like, they are pissed. So
Brian, bringing back the negging. Dude, look at this.
Yeah. So, but no, outside of that, that's it, man. Those two have been my only games, except with my son. I've been playing that cartoon from 2013 to 2014, TMNT. That's for the 360. It's like a beat 'em up Turtles game.
The CGI one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good Turtle series.
I love it. Like, I'm like, damn, this is pretty good. Yeah. Better than the movie. Well, I don't know if that's fair, but
that live action one from back then?
No, the one I just saw, the brand new one.
Oh, you saw the new... Oh, you didn't like it, huh?
It's not that I didn't like it. They really fucked up April and Splinter. And the characters are just... I don't want to spoil it, because if I tell you what Splinter is, I need you to see it for yourself. But I don't know why they did him dirty. And April was just annoying as shit. So the characters themselves, they're fine. They definitely took big swings with all the characters. Like, no, this isn't a spoiler. Superfly, aka Baxter Stockman, isn't Baxter Stockman. He's just a fly that's called Superfly, and it's Ice Cube. So imagine Ice Cube as a mutated fly. It's actually cool, but it's a big swing. You're like, he's like the most powerful mutant ever in this world. I'm like, this is a little odd. So yeah, they took some big swings. Some of it I did like, but other parts I was kind of like, why'd you go and do this?
I've seen even people who like really like the movie still say that they did Splinter dirty. So all right,
yeah. But no, that's basically been it for me.
And April,
so Chambers,
why?
Wait, what?
I said April fat. Why?
Fat, and once again, call it a spoiler. Her gimmick is like when she gets in front of camera, she throws up, and they needed to show it like a gross out thing because it's so funny when girls throw up on like it was so overdone that it wasn't even like if it was just a quick snippet and went away, but they show the full throw up thing. You're like, why?
Weird.
It was very weird. I don't get it. But Chambers, what I do get is our awesome patrons and their questions. So what do we got this week?
Yes, patreon.com/drinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question and we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. So, first up, actually, gotta use burn retinuses from last week. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, Jim, look, you forgot the
difference between it coming in after we record and like 5 days before, and you just don't check the goddamn listings. So, Brian, very important question. Okay. What are the first 3 things you check for in a new hotel room?
The first things I check for in a new hotel room?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely am someone I'll pull back the sheets, be like, make sure there's no buggies.
Yep.
Honestly, that might be like, I mean, I take a shit. I guess you check the water when you wash your hands, and I see if there's a fridge if I have stuff with me. So I guess technically bed. Is there a fridge? Because I do a lot of travel for work, so it's like, you know, if I'm going on vacation, I pretty much know what's going to be in the room. But that's probably... Oh, and then the view. I do open up the windows all the time. Like, if the windows are closed, I want to see what's out there. That's kind of probably it. It's very basic.
Yeah, sheets are a very important one because, like you said, bed bugs. Oh boy. And then I think me, number 2, definitely toilet paper. Checking the stock that's on hand. Seeing if I should make sure that when the lady comes around that I don't grab a few more. I know me, Brian. I know what this life is.
Listen, that's why I was very curious. Like, you seem to be ready for some answers. And I'm like, what is Jim? That is a good question.
And I guess, actually, at this point, I'm obviously not in as many as you are, but I've been in enough hotels to know the quality of a goddamn refrigerator that's in there. Mm-hmm. And I always check the fridge, because if you get a bad one, is that a damper? Like, the 2 worst I ever had, like, one was, I think I talked about it at a wedding I was at last year, where it wasn't even a fridge. It was like a cold box, but it was like a lukewarm cold box. Like, it didn't even get cold. Yeah. And we're in downtown DC, and this is like a super expensive hotel. And they had this like artsy like they didn't have carpets on the ground. They had like a rug with concrete. It was like trying to be this like minimalist bullshit, I guess. Like, and then yeah, this cold boxing that didn't keep anything goddamn cold. So yeah, that sucked. And then the one year you didn't do too many games with like Dan and I, we get in there and I start opening the thing up and it's just like water everywhere. I was like, fuck. So obviously it was like a shitty one with like a bad, either wasn't fully closed or just had a bad freezer and it was all melted and had to clean that crap up. So yeah, a quality fridge is definitely a must.
Yeah.
Although there's not much you can do about it though either, unless it's completely on the freds.
No. I'm actually shocked how well the fridge worked at our place for MagFest.
Oh yeah,
considering that place was that was out there.
A little questionable.
It was a little questionable.
Little on the main strip, away from the actual event itself.
Yeah.
15-minute Uber drive. Not the most expensive place in the world.
But still, it was questionable.
You don't take a date back there unless you're paying for it. So
yeah. I am curious though. Like, it's funny. You mentioned toilet paper. I am curious, like, what people really... I guess the only other answer would be, like... Once again, if I'm going on vacation, we bring so much of our own shit. Like, but if I'm by myself for work or shit, I have to check, like, did they actually stock shampoo, soap, all that stuff?
Brian, do you check for the quality of it and go, am I going to steal this?
You know what's funny is probably younger me would have been like, ooh, I can use it. I'm at the point now, it's like, I number one, even though I don't have like the worst hot water, like I will purposely make that shit, like I'm going to run it extra long. I'm going to stay in that shower extra long. And I'm going to use basically all of it in like 1 or 2 showers, like all the stuff I got there. But the soap, what I will note is this the soap that's going to leave me feeling really gritty?
Yeah, that's the worst.
And I'm like, oh, is this one of those bullshit, like they're all natural soaps where I know it's not going to quite do the job? And I'm going to be like, I'm going to have to feel like I'm going to have to shower an extra like 20 minutes just to really feel clean. So I guess that is something I would look at.
Speaking of the shower head. I like to check me the shower head. Am I going to have one with an adjustable, multiple flows? Or do I just have that bog standard one from the 1950s with just the one spray and nothing else, half rusted over? Right, basically I need to see if I can jet out my butthole. That's what I'm basically there to see. I need to have my jet stream, Brian.
Damn it, Jim.
I know I'm not going to get the detachable arm. I know there's not going to be a bidet there. Speaking of, I'm part of the bidet life now. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a very... Well, you know what's funny is I don't use... Maybe once in a blue moon I use it, but like for my wife, especially... I will say, I admit, she does leave the temperature on the thing, sometimes sitting down. I had to mentally get over a warm toilet seat. I always associate that with somebody who has just recently sat down, and I hated that feeling. Now it's not bad. I don't mind it.
Right, soon enough, it'll be the only way you can poop. You'll be sitting outside the busy stall going, thank you.
And Jim, and the secret guy code, which I'm sure every guy knows. If you are traveling by yourself, or even just with your wife or girlfriend or side piece, if you got 2 beds, you know, one bed is for the sex and everything else. The other one is for the actual sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're by yourself, Jim's popping on that waifu. And
oh, yeah. And I'm just letting it spray. I ain't cleaning up shit.
Damn it, Jim.
Much like Call of Duty, Bri. I'm a spray and pray guy.
I did like that question a lot until Jim said that. So, thank you, bud.
Don't forget to check out this week's Krusty Corner over at patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame for just $1.
Jim, remind me one question. Waifu, doesn't that just mean wife?
I think it's some. I don't even. I guess
what
it
is
just
it
means
even?
wife. Or like wifey term.
Is this one of these like it's an actual legit term, or it was like made up on Twitter and internet as like a bullshit like? That's
well, I mean,
just a way to
it
say
predates Twitter. So
well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Term for a fictional character, usually in anime or related media, that someone has great and sometimes romantic affection for. See, Brian, pure. I don't see what the problem is here.
I think they're making it sound more romanticized than what it's actually used for.
Right, there is no greater love than the love between a man and his waifu, Brian.
Don't you dare. Next question, you son of a bitch.
Next up from Todd Harrod Sucks. I was listening to a history podcast about Philadelphia, and they talked in depth about y'all's Mayor Frank Rizzo. He seemed like a real piece of work. No question, I guess.
Good guy. Took care of business.
I mean, that's one way to put it. He basically turned Philadelphia for his tenure basically into like a police state. I mean, he was the chief of police for a number of years, and then he was mayor for a while, and he's in this weird place in Philadelphia lore right now where like all the old heads like worship the ground he walks on. See, it was never better when he was here, all this stuff, and then all the young kids are like, he basically like, you know, was like a dictator almost. Now, my dad's an ex-cop. He's 80 years old. He fucking loves Frank Rizzo. Said he was never better than during that time.
Is he the one that, like, as he was older and a reporter was saying something to him, he said, I'll hit you, you crumb bum, or something like that?
I think that was him. I believe that was him, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he talked like a cop in the 20s.
Yeah. I mean, he is a guy that is straight out of a movie. If he, I don't know if, I wouldn't call him corrupt, like Jim's saying. I would call him, like, the opposite. Like, he went so far deep into the police state. Now, is it very questionable if you look at his history? Could he have been tied to the mob? It's, there might have been some. There might have been some things. And is he also the one that dropped the bomb?
No, that was Wilson Good, Brian.
That's right.
We've had a very checkered history with politicians in Philadelphia. We had Wilson Good bombing his own city. We had that DA who shot himself live on the news. We had John Street, who would fucking get in brawls in city as part of city council before he was mayor, and he was always being probed by the FBI and shit like that. We had, Ed Rendell, who went on to be governor, who would rather spend his time talking on sports talk radio than actually doing anything. We've just had so many good ones, Brian.
But Jim, without Frank Rizzo, we wouldn't have had all the classic skits from the Jerky Boys.
Ooh, you got a point there.
So, interesting guy. Of all the mayors, like, I wouldn't like point him out as, like Jim said, there's going to be different views of it. I don't know. I know very little other than the little history lesson Jim just gave me, but I did know he is favored by a lot of the older people. I thought he was the one that dropped the bomb in the middle of a friggin' row home. Since he's not, I guess he's better than that guy. I guess
it's
that's
a low bar. There's a low bar there.
I'm just saying, like, I guess dropping a bomb is worse, right? Like, that's probably as bad as you get.
Firebombing children, probably worse than running a police state. I will give you that.
I'm just saying. And he did use the word crumb bum. If it is him, I don't even know. So Jim,
I'm pretty sure it's him. I don't think it would. I can't really think of anyone else it would be. So
from now on, that's your new nickname, crumb bum.
Crumb bum? I'll take that. I don't know. It seems like something Michael Nutter would have said. He'd been like, "You're a crumb bum."
Oh, that guy, the biggest nerd in the world. Don't even get me started on him.
Or good old Jim Kenney do nothing, being like, "We could prosecute anyone, but why?"
I mean, I guess the only good news, Jim, is I look at cities like New York and California. I'm like, all right, well, they definitely have worse mayors than we do. So,
yeah, I mean, we had good old what was it, Marion Barry in D.C., who was an actual crackhead while he was in office. So
that's what I'm saying. Could be worse. Could be worse, Jim.
It's the same. You see a politician, just like spit on him. That's all.
Damn it.
We're not there for you. Just give him a little spit. A little tap in the balls.
But good non-question, JD.
Well, that was Todd Howard.
Oh, Todd. Good job.
Yep, but that wraps up the Patreon questions for this week. So once again, thank you to everyone out there for the Patreon questions. Really appreciate. Okay, that was just a comment. I was just making sure. I was double checking. God damn it. But yes, check it. Head on over to patreon.com. Drink a beer, play a game. $2 a month gets you a question. $5 and up gets you bonus episodes. Oh, speaking of, I swear to God, we will get around to it this month to at least do one of the ones we have on the docket for Patreon. Like me with the move, Bri with having the immune system of an invalid, and with Nerdy Nick. Actually, shout out to Nerdy Nick. He just got announced that he's doing a panel at Game on Expo in Arizona this year, doing his podcast.
Our boy Nick.
N Squared Podcast is taking off. Congrats to him.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, we've been some busy boys, but we will definitely get a bonus episode in this month. And then, of course, you have video game review requests and all the other kinds of crap. So, head on over to Patreon. Check out all the exclusive content there.
Thank you, guys. Truly, truly appreciate it. Chambers, right before we started, came across a comment. And I really want to get your take, because I feel like...
Yeah, this is different than what we normally do. I'm down for this.
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of on the bandwagon of kind of hating Marvel movies. Well, just hating superhero movies. Like
it's just so overdone.
Oh, no. And you and I agree on that. But I felt like you felt it was overdone when it was still good. Right now, the movies are coming out. Like, I just watched...
It was overdone when it was good. We didn't need 70 of them.
Guardians, 3 I just watched. And I actually always like the first two Guardians a lot. Guardians 3 is not it.
Really? Okay, because that was the only one I would maybe give the time to. Because I think I like the Guardians ones probably the most-ish out of all the Marvel ones going into it.
If you want to see a semi-origin story of Adam Warlock... I don't like how it's done. Everything else about it is so meh. And I'd say one of the strengths of Guardians, and yes, it's overused, but they were one of the first ones to really do the pop music interfused in it. Yeah. Has the worst soundtrack of all. The first two, I love those soundtracks. I love the songs chosen. This one, I didn't walk away with one song going oh yeah, I really like that one. No. So...
Knowing me and you, this will probably be the soundtrack I like the most.
Yeah, oh, I know. It's the Streets Rage 3 of the series, and you'd be like,
sign me up.
but they got this song. But yeah, so what I saw was from it's from Culture Crave, but it's a comment from Adam Devine. He was on Theo Von's podcast, who basically is saying superhero films killed comedies. Because the question, him and Theo were going back and forth. They're like, why are there like no more good comedies? Like, why aren't there that many comedies? And Adam's response was basically, well, Marvel ruined it because people now go to movies expecting you to have spent $200 million to make it, and they don't want to go there knowing a film doesn't work, doesn't cost that much. Oh, and by the way, on top of that, these crazy huge productions, they're also kind of funny. They're not trying to be comedies, but they splice in funny stuff. And one of his examples is like, well, you got a talking raccoon. Of course, that's hilarious. So, like, he's kind of going on.
That's a cope. That's
it's
not
such
the reason
a cope.
why.
It's such a cope, and it's also like, he's like, back in the day, you'd have, I think in the clip, if you go all the way down, the link will be below. He says, like, there was something like 40 or 30 comedies a year. And now, at best case, you get 6 or 7. What I would argue is, just like right now, superheroes that are at such a glut, and there was way too many movies, and now you see the quality starting to drop, they will go away. Like, there will always be something, but it will go away. In the mid to late 2000s, the glut of fucking stupid comedies, and I love a lot of them.
The mid to late 10s, yeah, especially.
It just, you couldn't escape it, and Adam Devine started a lot of terrible ones. And maybe people just got too tired of terribly written comedies. That's like, you can find funnier stuff on Family Guy or your sitcoms. Like, you don't need to go to a movie and pay $12 a ticket to watch something that's really not that funny. That you're like, or I could just stream stuff that is actually funny. So I've never liked Adam Devine. I've never watched anything that I thought was funny in. I didn't see Workaholics. I know a lot of people love it. I just haven't seen it.
I saw a couple episodes and it was like, it's one of those ones I watched and I was like, all right, I get it.
Yeah. And I'm not talking, that may be a good show. Couple
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it was I thought it was overhyped.
Yeah. And it's like, I just feel like that is a cope. To just cope right there, it annoys me enough how much people, and you've used the term, and it's so stupid, the cape shit. It's like, dude, they've tried it for every generation. When we were growing up, like, you had some good Batman movies. You sprinkle in a Superman once in a while. The X-Men tried it for a little while. First couple were good, then it went bad. Blade had some movie, like, it was so sporadic. And then, when the MCU hit and it really took off, now that's the thing. Now you have too many shows. But stop using that that's the excuse for comedy not being hot right now. It's like, maybe all you writers, the writers that do that shit, aren't as funny as you think.
Movie studios would kill to bring comedies back and to have like good comedy writers out there writing movies.
Yeah.
Because you can make them for $30 million. You can make them for cheap. And for the most part, you're probably going to make a profit on them. But there's probably threefold, Brian. Here's my 3 theories of why.
Go ahead.
Well, number 1, like you said, burnout. There are so goddamn many of them. Like, we were getting like, 3 Melissa McCarthy movies a year by like the end of the 2010s and shit like that. Where, like, right before the 2020s. So, 2, COVID. COVID threw off everything. And everyone's sitting at home scared from a global pandemic. Not too many people are going to be going out. Well, obviously not going out to watch a movie, but might not have been in the mood. 3, or especially for why it's not like fucking Marvel. 1, like, there are still some that are around, but have you seen the ones that get promoted? Like that one with like Sandra Bullock and like doing some shootout at her wedding or some crap with. And then like there's like a random John Cena one here and there, and like, in hell, I watched Knockers. I watched Blockers. Like, I saw that, didn't see it in the theater. Oh, now here's what my real number 3 was going to be besides bad. So 4. So number 4, streaming. Why would you ever go to a theater and pay $15 a fucking ticket to watch, a dumb comedy that you can obviously wait for? There's no must-see comedy that you're going to kill to go see the day it comes out.
Yeah.
At least with Marvel, they had the thing until fucking Endgame, and that's why it's stupid they kept going, is You know, it's like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Oh, they're building this up. Oh my god, this is so cool. Like, yeah. You're not gonna have that with a comedy. So people are, and inflation too. People have less money now than they have before. So there's like 1,000 different reasons. But at the end of the day, if you make something funny, people are gonna fucking watch it.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is you could, there is, I think, to your point, I think theaters in general, I doubt even Marvel movies, not just because they're bad, but also, who's like going out of their way to go to theaters? Every movie I've gone to in the past year and a half has been for my kids. I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I saw Sonic 2, I saw Super Mario Brothers, and Toy Story 4. Those have been the movies I've gone to for my kids. I'm not going for me. But, you know, I'll add one to that, Jim. And it might be cliche to say, but it's like comedies are scared to take risks right now because shit is too woke. And you don't want to make the jokes that actually make people laugh. You want to be safe. The comedies that live on forever, if you watch Tropic Thunder today, and that was tried to be made today, it couldn't be. It's funny as shit because it's inappropriate as shit. And people do not want to make those right now. If you did make those, I guarantee you would sell out, as long as it's written funny, of course. But, like, that's a big part of it. Yeah,
I mean, like, if you go, like, bad Tropic Thunder quality, obviously it's not, like, you know, the same movie at all, but, like, you know, for as extreme as Tropic Thunder tried to be, and you want to do a bad, like, then you have, like, Sausage Party 3 at this point. Shit like that. So,
yeah, which is like, they're going over the top crude with animation. Because I just saw, isn't there that one stupid one with, like, the dogs, and it's like they talk dirty to each other?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, there's one, it's like, you know, it's these dogs that they can talk so they can be extra raunchy. Because it's dogs. Just like when it was the little kid movie that was basically super bad, but for little kids, that they made a couple years ago. I forget what it's called.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I did watch it. I couldn't tell you one part that stuck out, but it was like literally like, these kids that like wanted to go to some 8th grade party. It's super bad, but like I said, younger, and they're all cursing and saying crazy shit. To just cope with Marvel,
I mean, you can be safe and clean and funny. Like, it's an art form. Like, not a lot of people pull it off.
You need really good writers.
Or just, you need to be really clever. Yeah, you need to have people who are good as, like, Brian Regan and Jim Gaffigan. There's not a lot of people like that out there who can be that clean and that funny. So
what you're saying, Jim, is we need AI to replace the writers.
Well, obviously, Brian.
I mean, it's say what you want. It's very tough now, I feel like, for anyone nowadays, especially with the glut of streaming and everything you said. You're going up against that. But to come up with something that's even considered a little bit original, it was tough enough always. Like, there is no original thought anymore. It's a rehash of stuff you've seen one way or another.
No, yeah.
And comedy is such a... Man, to write something funny, it's easy to write an action scene that's epic. If you throw enough money at it, you can make it epic.
Right.
You got to be smart enough and know enough comedy to actually make something funny. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know what does that. But yeah, comedies, until you increase your quality, you're not going to go anywhere. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you said, like, comedy, the biggest way comedy spreads is by word of mouth. So if something's funny, people are going to find it.
Yep.
So, yeah, comedy's dead because nothing's funny right now. No one's making anything funny. There's
and the last thing, Jim, you said streaming. I'm also going to throw in there YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. They're going to clip out the funniest moments. You're going to know the funniest shit of a movie before you even see it. So now you're going to be like, well, why do I need to see it? I saw the funny part.
Fucking TikTok. Now no one has an attention span either. If you're not funny in the first 30 seconds, you are donezo.
Don't even get me started about... yeah. So... I just saw that. I just wanted to get your take on it. So,
yeah, no, he's. I mean, like you said, I've never seen anything where I'm like, oh, thank God, Adam Devine is in this.
Damn it, Jim.
I think that was that good of a line. Look at me being Johnny Funny Pants.
Damn it, you should write a comedy.
Maybe I will.
Chambers. But speaking of super random shit that you shared, we have the link below, but this is news that's kind of been out, is Red Dead Redemption is coming to Switch and also randomly PS4, but more importantly, Switch. And also Undead Nightmare, because I did kind of talk about this previously, but we've been joking how long about like how one of the Switch's selling points was putting Skyrim when it was almost 10 years old, and now you're putting
Red Dead Redemption that's 13 years old, putting it on there.
Which, absolutely great game. Not knocking it. It is what it is. I was a little shocked though. Like, what did they mean PS4? Because there is versions you can play on PS4 on the cloud. I guess they mean, I don't know, because on Xbox the shit was always backwards compatible. You could play, like, so I don't. That's the one piece I don't get.
Yeah, that's the thing about, like, when they first got announced, a lot of people were like, well, why isn't this on Xbox? And the answer was, it already is. Because, like you said, you could just pop a disc in there and it'll just give you the updated version so you can play it on your new systems. Xbox doesn't have its own games, but they do treat older games pretty goddamn well for the most part.
Yeah.
It's how they make up for it. But, yeah, it is... The PS4 is a weird fucking choice, man. So... Like,
there's no, I don't know why they would do that, because are you going to pay anything close to a full price for a PS4 game at this point?
Yeah, and apparently it's like in the UK it's going to be 50-ish pounds or something like that, so, which, that's goddamn brave. And it's not like it's even an updated or like really fixed version of it either. I think it's basically just going to be like a straight port.
And do you honestly think, even if you're just a Nintendo diehard, do you think there's enough people who haven't played that are going to buy it for the Switch? Other than, yes, it would be cool to have it on the convenience on the go, but, like, is anyone clamoring that much for that? I don't know. It's just a very weird thing to, like, now port, especially with news that, like, right around the corner is a new Switch console. Like, I don't know. It's all weird.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not like the worst idea in the world to put it on there because, one, you still have like 150 some million units out there at PS4s. So, you know, if someone wants it, they can just do it. And, I mean, I'm going to assume it's going to do the thing that a lot of other PS4 games do where if it plays on the 4, it'll play on the 5. So I'm going to assume it's going to have that kind of compatibility. So that's fine. So instead of just making a pure PS5 version and then, you know, cutting into your sales, I guess that makes sense. But still, $50 goddamn dollars, and like the only real improvement they do is like more added language support. Like, that's fucking brave. At least on the Switch, like you said, you're getting that portability and shit like that. But
I don't know who's gonna. This is one I need to know. Like, once it's out and like give it a couple months. What are those sales figures like? Come on, it can't be that crazy.
It's just bizarre. And again, like to Rockstar too, it's like I mean, I guess it's easy enough to just like, you know, shit this out to get a little bit more sales while you sit back with your 180 million units sold of fucking GTA 5, which is insane. But yeah, like GTA 5 is the second highest selling game of all time. That's ridiculous. So they're in no hurry to make anything new. So I guess this is another little stopgap for that, but it's not remastered, it's not updated, it's as old as can be. It's going to be 720p on the PS4. So like that's ridiculous. That's like a slap in the face.
It's just like, why?
Yeah. And I added another tweet here. So it's from an Xbox fanboy. So like the console war bullshit's like dumb, but it does make a point. Where, like, on the Xbox, you know, it's fully backwards compatible. You can use your old copy of a game and not have to buy a new one. It's going to be in 4K. You have free cloud saves and whatever smart delivery is. I don't know what the fuck that is. Whereas, you know, on the PS4, you can play it on the PS5, but it's not backwards compatible. You're paying $50. It's 720p. You don't have your old save file, so you're starting over again. Yeah, I mean, it's just bizarre.
Who is this for? That I just don't get it. Like, odd move. So, you know, if somebody in the comments, if you know a better reason why they would possibly do this, you let us know. But it doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yep. But Bri, speaking of PlayStation and oh so important updates and new things for it, Bri, you can finally turn off the beep on your PS5. It's huge news. Revolution.
It's like, the fuck? The fact that somebody's been working on this, and it's a very simple UI fix. It's not like this crazy complex thing, but that they need to even include it. Now, it's buried in a lot of other things that PS5 can do, which now includes, like, you can search for your games in your library. You can join friends sessions easier without joining through a party.
Make private groups easier. Control your haptic feedback from other shit. Use a second controller if you're, disabled for accessibility. Like, that's a good thing and shit like that.
And there's a lot of, like, additional compatibility with the Atmos stuff. Like, so it's a quality of life improvement. But, yeah, the one that does stick out is in all that, they're like, and you can mute the beep sound.
And so many news outlets are making like such a big deal about it, where it's like, are this many people complaining about that?
I never knew it was an issue.
I've seen the memes where it's like you just get in a big fight and the guys and the woman's like, are you listening to me? And then all of a sudden you hear the PlayStation beep sound. Yeah. Like, I know that meme, but is that really coming from a place of like this beep of startup being what?
I don't get it. Like, I was thinking of it like,
the fuck cares?
If you were a kid and you were told to, like, go to sleep and your parents hear the beep, like, that's where my mind went. But I'm like, who has ever been so mad? You're like, that fucking beep! Like, who is getting that angry? If anything, I honestly, every time I've heard a sound from my systems, it's almost a calming because I'm about to do something I really enjoy.
Or it's just like, oh, thank God it turned on. Oh, thank God it worked.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like...
I didn't get the 3 beeps. That means problem. Good.
Yeah. Oh, man. Looking out for that red ring of death on the old 360s. Whew. But, yeah, why? I don't know. That's something... Somebody's got to be able to explain it better to me and Jem, because it don't make sense. I didn't know it was an issue.
Like, I thought I know I am. I spend too much time on the goddamn internet as is. But I thought I would have had some kind of inkling about why this is such a big deal. And apparently I don't.
Makes zero sense to me. But so does a lot of things, Jim. But, Jim, there is one thing I know I can get behind 1,000,000%. I don't care how you feel about Elon Musk and all the goofiness he does, what he's done to Twitter, aka X.
Yeah, he's a retard.
But he tweeted something, I don't know, a couple days ago, and basically said, if you've ever been fired or had something affect your personal life because of Twitter, reach out to me and I'll pay your legal fees to fight that. And one of the things we actually covered, was it earlier this year or last year?
I think it was earlier this year.
Yeah.
Because it was I think it was around the time of Hogwarts.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we covered the story about Carol Lynn, who she made the media circuit, like, rounds. Basically, she was let go of from Limited Run Gaming, that fucking company.
Your favorite.
And she basically, like, he heard about it. He reached out to her. He said, is this real? Because she got let go because she was following libs of TikTok, whatever. And they've been having a conversation. So he literally was like, all right, let's go. Let's deal with them. So she, from there, just like DM has been sent. And now obviously the conversation's offline. I want Elon to buy Limited Run and then close that fucking place or run it better than it is. I don't like them at all. I said it was bullshit that I find it complete horseshit for any company if you just follow somebody or even give a like or whatever. It's different if you go out there and make statements that are very inflammatory, but just because you follow or like something to get fired for that, I think is pretty ridiculous.
Or having someone, have to dig back 7 years through tweets to find one thing to hang you on. Like, yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's beyond, and my feelings Limit Run, Jim can't stop giving them his money for terrible games.
Hey, I say it all the time. I hate the company, but they have things I want. It's not going to change.
Yeah, bad games. I mean, like, your track record would show, Jim. I'm just saying. And you know what? I would love it. I've been super indifferent about Elon either way, but if he actually helps her and she wins a case by funding it, I love him if he does that because F limited run.
It's never going to happen. He's not going to do anything. He won't do a goddamn thing about
Jim,
this.
now if he does, will you get a Tesla tattoo?
Will he get a what tattoo?
A Tesla tattoo. Or an X. Just get an X. Come on, Jim.
No, I don't have any goddamn tattoos. I'm not going to do it for a dumb Twitter bit.
You're so saying he won't. I'm just saying, if he does, because he's done some silly shit. He's built a goddamn flamethrower just because he was bored. Like, he does goofy shit. He engages trolls. He talks, like, he does stupid stuff.
He does it terribly. He wants to be, like, a famous, like, poster that people like so badly. He literally had the world eating out of the palm of his hand 10 years ago with everyone thinking he was going to save the world with his stupid electric cars. And just because he's such a needy nerd online, now he's like a laughingstock for most people. Like, he's so goddamn lame.
But does being a laughingstock matter when you're a billionaire?
No, I wish I was a billionaire laughingstock.
Yeah.
But I'm not a billionaire, so I can't have that.
But that's where I'm like, but he still wins at the end. Like, it doesn't matter how he's perceived. I'm just saying, I could imagine him doing something stupid. Now, the other piece of this is, since his tweet, who knows the thousands, if not millions of comments he's gotten. Like, I've been let go because of this. I just feel like that's one that had enough traction because it was in the news media for a little bit. Maybe he would actually consider it. And if he did, and she actually won a case from Limited Run, oh my God, I would laugh so hard.
But here's the thing though, that like what he doesn't do anything out of the goodness of his heart. So what's his?
He would promote the shit out of it. He would just be like, "See, like." He might just do it because he's bored, and when you have that much money, you do shit because you're bored. I don't know. Like, it's like suspending your money on Limited Run. You do it because you want stupid shit that you know is not valuable. Why do you do it? You just do it because you want a piece of plastic. He might just want to do it because he's like, yeah, fuck that. You shouldn't fire people for that reason. It's a stupid thing to do, but he's done stupid things. So...
yeah, I mean, like, I agree. Like, unless you're being, like, you know, aggressive on fucking social media with just, like, you know, harassing people and being just being
absolutely
awful in general.
Yes.
Like, you know, like a tweet here or there. Like, you can be a shitty person, but you shouldn't be deserved to be fired for it. That kind of deal.
Yeah.
But again, with fucking Elon, I don't see how he benefits from this because the people who like Elon are gonna like him regardless. So this isn't gonna win him any new people, and the people that don't like Elon are never going to like Elon, so this isn't going to win them over because a lot of the people he would probably respond to with this are people that they're not going to like anyway. So,
but I would just argue
there's no benefit to this.
But he doesn't do the shit he does, I think, to try to be like...
Yes, he does. Everything he does, he tries to be liked. He walked into fucking Twitter with a fucking kitchen sink thinking he was funny, thinking he would get likes for that.
Yeah, but don't you think there's
he steals Pepe memes thinking he's going to get likes for that?
But he does get likes. That's the problem.
Yeah,
like
because he might not get on every account.
Yeah, but that's then once again, he does get like you might see the ones that hate him, but there's also like there's going to be a 50-50 split, right? Like you're going to be loved and hated. And he's probably gets fed mentally from both of them. So I don't know. I just said I hope he does it. I'm not weighing in. Like, do I think he's going to do it? I think he's probably going to get so many. I think there will be some cases he actually probably is like, here, I'll cover your lawyers for this. And honestly, he might have lawyers on retainer, so it actually might not cost him additional. It'll just be like, I'll have my lawyer deal with that shit for you. Like, I don't know. But
here's
I
another
just
side
want
to
Limited
it,
Run to pay for their stupidity because I don't like Limited Run.
Well,
is that too much to ask, Jim?
But here's another thing, though. Here's another fly into it, Brian. The people who fired her aren't at Limited Run anymore. Doug and Josh are gone.
Well, still F Limited Run.
So it doesn't do anything. You're not even hitting the people that fucked her then.
Legacy, Jim.
Legacy.
They're still a bad company. Come on.
They're still a shit company, and their turnover and their return on everything still sucks. Yeah, no, they're a pain in the ass. Even after Embracer brought them, it's not gotten any better. So, yeah, it's still a shit company, but at least like the annoying douchebags who ran it are gone.
Yeah. Well, go after them again. I want blood, Jim. That's all I want.
I can see that, fine. Little bloodlust. Little bloodlust never hurt anybody.
Just because you're a shill for limited run, I know you're going to have their flag behind you because you keep spending money there. Doesn't mean you got to defend them, Jim.
Hopefully one day they send me a birthday cake.
Stop defending them. You crumb bum.
Beautiful company.
So,
right. If there's one thing I love my FOMO-induced purchases to be negated 6 months later when every other platform gets their own version of the same game I just fucking bought. And now I have stupid, scratchy writing on my goddamn thing.
Well, maybe if you learned your lesson, Jim, but you don't. You're the kid that keeps touching the flame. Ow, it's hot. Ow, it's hot. Ow, it's hot.
I'm Bart with the cupcakes, Brian. That's what I is. Speaking of, I need another beer.
All right, Chambers. So I came across a random video. Shockingly, something about Resident Evil came across, and the title really got me. It said, "Can you beat Resident Evil 2 without walking?" Right away, I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? I was just like, you know what? Let me check it. And it comes to us from Punchy on YouTube. Never saw this guy before. So I clicked it.
11,000 subscribers, not a huge channel.
Yeah, give him a follow. Go check out his videos if you want. Like, I decided to subscribe because it was an interesting idea. Basically, he talked about like he's beaten Resident Evil so many times and Resident Evil 2 so many times. He's done he's not a big fan of speed runs, but this is the inverse of a speed run. So basically, the premise is there a way to beat Resident Evil without walking? Like, you can't move forward or backwards. So right away, my mind's like, no, but there's a little glitch, design flaw, whatever you want to call it. Every time you aim in Resident Evil 2, you move forward a little bit. And I mean a little bit.
A painfully small bit if you're going to do the entire goddamn game that way. This guy's insane.
And he was inspired because there was something in a Japanese magazine. I had it right here. I can't read the thing. Something Wave in Japanese, where they highlighted a YouTuber or somebody who did this in there or tried to do it. So he was inspired to give it a try. And sure enough, I think he says, yeah, you have to do it on easy mode, but still, like, he goes through the entire game, gets to the end, and at like almost 11 or 12 hours. Now that might not sound like a lot, but for someone like him who knows exactly what you need to do, he could easily beat Resident Evil 2 in like probably 2 hours. So it's all about just that walking. Now, he kept getting to the point where after he beats the final boss, and you got to run to a train with a timer, where like he just like in a video, it's kind of like I'll say spoiler if you want to watch it. He's like, no, it's impossible. Like, you have to run at this moment. No, like even with 2.5 minutes left, he couldn't do it. And he referenced back to the Japanese guy who did this, and even that Japanese guy did the same thing. He ended up just like running at the last second. So then he's going through. He's like, it was a really fun challenge. It sucks that I couldn't do it. And then it like, as a false ending, comes back. He's like, so I played about like 20 more times off stream, and I found the final like perfect pathing. So basically, instead of just aiming, he saved all of his ammo for like the big ass magnum, and was able to like blow himself back to do it and actually finish the game by just walking, like aiming. I said before, I can appreciate speedrunners and the amount of time and effort it takes to do that stuff. My God, the amount of time and effort this thing took and would take. Like, I don't know. I do love me goofy challenges. Like, I always think it's crazy enough when I first heard people using knife only in fucking Resident Evil.
Yeah, right?
Then I see this and I'm like, good God. Like, it got me thinking, like, is there a game do you think you would actually, you feel you're so good at? Maybe it's Star Fox 64. Is there some, like, thing where it's like maybe you never move your actual vehicle? Or is like a challenge that you love enough that you would want to actually give that a try?
Like, the closest I ever came to ever attempting anything like this was that video I made 5-6 years ago at this point, when I tried to play Sonic the Hedgehog 1 with an Atari controller. And with that, the hardest part of it is just, having to swap controllers so you can at least start the goddamn thing. But, I mean, yeah, it sucked using that controller, and my hardware at the time did not play nice with me either, so I did not even make it all the way through. But, yeah, like, I mean, even when I had the time, thoughts like that never even crossed my mind. Like, maybe at the best of, like, trying to set high scores and shit in Star Fox, but I couldn't tell you a single way that I would try to do it either.
Well, I guess this is my question.
Like,
now.
maybe I'd have to, like say for Star Fox, my favorite game.
Yeah.
Like, if I wanted to do some crazy challenge for myself, maybe I would have to continuously the entire time hit, like, I think it's C up and whatever the button is to go between cockpit view and third-person view, and just keep going back and forth between that to almost make it, like, unable to, like, see what I'm doing and, like, be so disoriented. Like, maybe that could be something, but outside of that, like, I don't know. Because, like, I think I could do the game pretty easily without, you know, using bombs or smart bombs. That wouldn't be that big of a deal. But,
yeah.
I mean, maybe unless I set, like, a score challenge for myself without using them, that would probably be tough because, you know, it's basically the smart bomb's key for getting those high combos. But, yeah, I don't know. Or maybe, like, playing Streets of Rage 2 without jumping or ever using a special attack or something. But it would be doable. Just be a pain in the balls, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's, you know, that's the part that interests me. Like, when you do something like this guy is obsessed to such a level where I love me Resident Evil, but even, like, doing things like the knife challenge, I haven't done just because I'm like, oh, it just seems like such a pain in the ass. And even though I love the game, I personally wouldn't get something out of it where I'd feel, like, more accomplished. And there's something to that where, like, you and I have been doing these, like, level 50, level 23. Do you like the fact that you keep getting yourself exposed to more games, or do you wish you could focus in more on, like, replaying and mastering one game?
A little bit of both. Like, I kind of do wish I could have spent more time with Mario Odyssey, even though I spent, 27 hours with it. But, would I like to dick around more and, like, try to find more secrets and do more moons? Yeah, it would have been fun. But,
yeah.
I don't have the time for it. I got to move on to other shit if I want to do some of these things that we're doing. Or with level 50, like, would I have wanted to go back through Blasphemous to get the best ending? I would have loved to, but I don't have the time to try and do that. That kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I struggle with. Like, there's a lot of games, like, between DLCs, not completing, like I love the shit out of Witcher 3. And it's like, I want to go back and do all the DLC and finish everything I didn't get to finish. But same deal. It's like, oh, yeah, like, I gotta...
Probably just spend 700 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. Like I said, a really cool video. Way different than any speed run. I do love these goofy challenge videos. So, if you guys know of any, you let me know. Send it to me and Jim, because I do enjoy seeing these. I just wanted to get your take. I guess, Jim, what would it take for you to ever even try this?
Oh my god. $2,000 a month on Patreon.
You heard it here, folks.
Back up those numbers, people. Got a long way to go. Or head on over to Skillshare.com and use our code DBPG30 for 30% off your first year. Learn a new skill.
Woo!
Take a class.
Maybe the skill is how to play Resident. Maybe it's beating Tetris 99, Jim.
I could teach you how to not win. I'd be very good at teaching that.
Chambers. So, final topic. I just needed to cover this because I keep seeing this shit coming out. It's getting me blood red mad. Mortal Kombat 1. I said I'm so excited for it.
All right.
Yeah. Because I keep seeing the characters they're revealing for this game. And if you don't know with Mortal Kombat 1...
They are kind of blowing their load here.
Well, you have actual roster that you can pick, and then you have these things called cameos. And cameos are strictly assists, like,
Oh, these aren't making any sense now that I'm looking at it. What the fuck?
Exactly. So the cameos, just a really quick run through, these are characters that the ones that aren't in the roster, you can't play. So you have Cyrax, who you're not going to be able to play as. You have Frost. You have Goro. You have Jax. You have Kano. Kung Lao you can play as in the game. You have Serena, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero, who you can play as those two. Sector, Sonya Blade, and Stryker. Regardless of how you feel,
Thank
just the fact,
God Stryker's there.
But just the fact that you can't play as Sonya Blade, Jax, Goro, Kano, the original OGs of Mortal Kombat, but you can call them in for cameos. But instead, you can waste your fucking time.
Right,
with
get Garrus.
Ashra. You get Ashra. You get Garrus. You get Havoc. You get Lee May. You get Tanya. Did they purposely just go through like Armageddon and some of these other games and say,
Right,
hey,
why are you naming all the black characters? Huh?
they're not. God damn it, Jim.
Well, except for Lee May.
Havoc is like a skeleton, Jim. I actually like. I don't even mind Havoc, but still, I recognize he's so fucking stupid. Why in the fuck are you picking the most obscure, non-fan favorite? At least 4 of these people I named were literally just like thrown in Armageddon, I think, like for like one time. Of all the people, like, you don't think put in Cassie Cage, you don't think put in some of the cool, interesting characters. You put Garrus, who's just a knockoff Thanos. Like, what the shit? That's what bothers me. And it's like you have cameos from actual great characters. No Cyrax, no Sector, fucking Jax, Goro. But I can be Lee May. Thank God.
Well,
that's annoying me.
Here's my problem with the characters. Like, as a roster alone, I would have been like, all right, like not a solid, not a great roster, but whatever, solid, fine. Switch it up sometimes. Can't just do the same old ham and eggs every time. Whatever. My problem is this is supposed to be like the big reboot and going back in time for the series and seeing like the whole thing's beginnings. Why the fuck are there so many characters from so much later on in the series thrown in here at this point? Like, a lot of these should have just been babies at the time. Like, I thought, like, at the end of fucking Mortal Kombat 11, when he goes back, you know, spoiler, I guess, whatever, for fucking however old that game is now. You know, fucking God Liu Kang's being the great Kung Lao, preparing him for the first Mortal Kombat, you know, before Mortal Kombat 1, like the original one. The one where, you know, Goro almost took over everything. Or the one where that started that. So like, that's what I was interested to see. And, like, yeah, I know, like, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are going to be, like, you know, ancient Scorpion and Sub-Zero, whatever. That's cool.
And now they're brothers.
Yeah, but then why the fuck's Tanya there?
What? Well, and it's also, and let me preface all this. I know the roster's not done. So maybe
Katana should be, like, 3 years old and, like, Johnny Cage. Like, this makes no goddamn sense. Like, Garrus is fine. Garrus is, like, an eternal thing. That could make sense. I'm fine with that. I don't think he's the most interesting character, but he makes sense to be there. Like, what the...
and that's my problem is even Resident Evil 9 probably
Katana Melina, yeah, Outwarders, makes sense, fine, whatever.
Of course, yeah. I'm cool with throw as many ninjas in there as you can. Like, but once again, to not have Sonya, Kano, Goro, Jax, and as much as I would love Cyrax and Sector and these guys, like, okay, whatever. Like, it sucks. I'm sad, but I'll get over it. But when you throw in these random... And it's not even like how in Mortal Kombat 10 and 11, where they just said, let's just roll the dice and add new characters to it. Like, you had that random outlaw dude with the gun. You had the big tusk thing with the little, like, person sitting on his head. You had Cassie Cage.
Right, they're called midgies. Get it right.
God damn it. Like, you threw some characters. You had that bug lady. Like, you threw some new characters where I'm like, okay, I'm not against it. If you show me new.
Yeah, they fit the universe. Fine.
But, like, who else are they gonna fucking bring back Who's How? Whatever his name. Like, are you just really picking the most obscure people possible and saying, this is who we need? I don't get it. And I even saw the trailer, the Banished, where it introduced us to Reptile, Asher, and Havoc. And even Reptile, like, I don't know how you feel, but, like, his ninja thing is, like, he's full human, and then he straight up turns into, like, a full, basically, dinosaur to become Reptile.
Right.
like I kind of like the either like he's like basically humanoid reptile or like just his face would do something. Like I don't know. This is a full transformation where it's like no, he's like a completely different creature. I don't know.
I don't know. You could storyline that into making sense and just be like, as he got older, the power waned and he couldn't like fully turn, shit like that. Like that's fine, whatever. And at least it's something different. I'll give it as being something different. But like, yeah, and like I'm not pissed off about like the goofy characters like the Homelander and Omni-Man, like the DLC shit.
Which
like,
that makes sense. Like Homelander makes sense. Omni-Man, I think he's pretty popular. Makes sense.
No, these are all popular characters, so like it's their dumb, cameos for DLC that they always do. Fine, whatever. Like it's not gonna make sense in the course of the game, but whatever. It never does. No. But just for like the game's, in story and in character, what the fuck?
And I'm even okay. Like it's weird that you're gonna waste a DLC slot on Takeda, who I liked from. I forget if he's from 10 or 11. I think he's Kung Lao's kid. He's the one with like the whips. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah.
I forget. He's somebody's. I feel like he's Kung Lao's kid, but like him, kind of like I didn't mind.
But like, why does no one like Motaro? Why is he never back?
He's never back.
He's around at that time.
Or Mitaro or a Kidtaro. Like, why is he not there? Why is like there's so many like better choices.
Like I would have loved like a really like I would have like my dream for like this reboot was going to be like the story of the Great Kung Lao. You have a couple characters like obviously your Scorpions and Sub-Zeros and just a lot more Outworlders and build on that and maybe like a couple random just humans,
Yeah.
Like the one guy in the fucking first movie, not like he would have been too young for the time, but like just give us a random character you throw in there and build up or some shit like that. Like come on.
I just.
And this character selection makes no fucking sense. That's what's driving me crazy.
So what I would enjoy if they just say everyone that's a cameo is also playable, then I'll shut up.
Which
I'm okay.
It eventually will. They'll just be future DLC until the complete version comes out. So they're eventually going to sell them to you.
That's
if they're there. They're going to sell them to you.
You they're going to be there eventually. It's like don't nickel and dime me. Like, come on, man. Also, like, I kind of want it to be... I don't want them to rush, what's-his-face? Shao Kahn in this. Like, allow this one, like, whatever this retold storyline is, if Shang Tsung's the bad guy, like, let him be the main bad guy. And then build in Shang
Tsung or Shao Kahn? Or
Shao Kahn, yeah. Make him the second one. But it's like you're already kind of shooting yourself in the foot because you're introducing Melina, which you can do that without having him, but like
fucking you could have done Sindel and done her whole backstory, like of how she tried to defend the kingdom and then got killed and then was brought back to be his wife and shit.
You could have
made her a tragic character or some shit like that, or given her the backstory, or changed history. You could have done fucking anything. You have so many characters from that time you could have used, and you could have still made new ones.
So you see why I'm mad now, Jim?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Like, and how are you going to do my boy Stryker dirty? I know you hate Stryker.
Why is Stryker there? Why is Stryker ever? No, you know what? Actually, fuck it. Fuck it. Have Stryker's dad there as a combatant for Earthrealm, and it would have made sense.
Well,
Mortal Kombat 3 could have been like Bob Stryker, and you could have had Bill Stryker be his granddad or some shit like that.
But you don't know.
And it would have been fine. It made sense.
They could be doing that, Jim. I'm just saying. Because it's just his last name. So you don't know which Stryker it is.
You don't know. There's a chance. It's very true.
But what's next? Like, are they going to fucking be like, we're being funny and throw in mocap again? Like, come on, man. Just think about this shit. So, I don't know. And wait, is Kenshi even in this?
Yeah, I think he is.
Okay, he is. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I just see this, that they're adding more and more obscure, which is like, maybe they're just going to wait till, like, because it still doesn't come out till September 19th. Maybe they're going to wait till, like, a week before and be like, all right, guys, yeah, all those cameos are in it. Okay, cool. Cool surprise. You got me. But
yeah, I'm not even mad about the cameos. I'm just mad about the cast in general.
Yeah, well, I'm only mad about the cameos if like I said, we know where it will go. it for sure will be a future DLC. It's like,
Yeah.
I'll have them, which that pisses me off. But fill your cameos with these obscure ass people that no one cares about, and fill your roster with the characters you actually care about. That's all. Simple request.
But there's gonna be a cameo one day with Vin Diesel from Fast and the Furious. You know it's gonna happen.
You know what? You know what would be a good DLC is Riddick.
Riddick would be good.
He would be interesting, at least. I'll say that.
Yeah, might be a little too. Well, then again, I was gonna say it might be too obscure for today's audiences, but I mean, for kids today, who the fuck knows RoboCop and Rambo? So
Exactly. So you know what? Like, the thing that really interests me is I want to see the brutalities and those crazy combos. I want to see the fatalities, and then let me see my DLC. Let me see what cool characters they pull, because they get some good ass pulls in there. So. Yeah, Chambers, we'll keep following that as they release more and more characters. I know we got a little over a month still, so there's plenty of time to announce shit. But how was your silver bullet, Jim?
Ooh, do I gotta pee? Good, delicious as always, nice and refreshing, but ooh, lordy, do I have to pee-pee.
Yep, and as I said, the Black Magic, if you can find it, it probably won't be around until March of next year. Maybe you can get lucky, though, if you do. Really, really good, solid flavor. So, yeah, I would highly recommend that. But with that, we want to say thank you, everyone who's been watching. If you haven't already hit subscribe, please do that. Hit the notification bell so you can see all of our new videos. And if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, give us 5 stars, and whatever comment you leave, we will read on each and every one of these Power Hour podcasts. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.